in agreeing that
Listen.
the sky is, it's that it's a way to get by agreeing.
Yes, like incest.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Love.
Yeah.
We don't know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we begin now.
Mm-hmm.
But incest is very interesting, like every other symbol. All being equal, we all receive the one we need for this moment now. But you wanted something from him, and that's what it was about.
Mm-hmm.
What did you want from him?
Just listen.
I wanted acceptance.
Yeah, and did you get it?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No.
So you wanted acceptance and love?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And appreciation?
Mm-hmm. Acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Support.
So that's what we'll do for love. Anything.
Mm-hmm.
And we're confused. We say they did it to us. But we didn't run away. And if we did, we didn't run away again. And if we did, we didn't run away again. We didn't say no, some of us. We were too frightened because we wanted something. Comfort. First, security. Secondly, comfort. And when we get all that all controlled, we think pleasure. And all pleasure is pain. Self-love is as good as it's ever going to get. That's it. And then just love. But that's what the little boy was up to. I will do anything for love. So I have a prayer, Ken, I used to have. It didn't last long. So I say, if I had a prayer today, it would be this. God, spare me from the desire of wanting love, appreciation, or approval. Amen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's pause that. There's this wonderful YouTube channel called Always in the Now. They put up a whole bunch of these wonderful Byron Katie videos. So you can just go onto YouTube and listen to hours and hours of Byron Katie talk about life, give you some wisdom, just shed some amazing wisdom about things, just help you to realize all sorts of things, you know. We do those worksheets in this class, the turn them around, the judge your neighbor worksheet. But oh, it can just be so wonderful. Instead of having to sit there with the worksheet, you know, you can just put on some Byron Katie and listen, and then have other people do the work, and then you can do the work in your own mind and just have your own inner experience and listen to the wise things this woman says. Oh, this woman could cough and say something wise. I tell you, it's just amazing. It's just amazing. Okay, on that note, welcome. Today is, I believe, our second class of the regular Emotions for Dummies series. And I am Dr. Donnie, the creator and host of the class. And I'm really happy for the wonderful person who's here today. As always, I want to encourage people to come to class if you have feelings you want to work on. I do record all these and put them up on my YouTube channel for people to see, to advertise the class. Although I do have to say, I have a great heart when it comes to wanting to do these things, and I'm learning a whole lot, so I'm thankful I'm doing it. I am not great at advertisements, and I don't think I really even want to be quite honest with you. So I really like the intimacy of things being small. So that's how I feel about that. So it's on my YouTube channel, and often the people who just can't make it to the class, you know, they watch the videos. And of all things, including my best friend from college, who was not big on emotions at all, wasn't big on feelings whatsoever. And even my wonderful friend Sarah watches these videos sometimes. That just really touches my heart in a real special way that money could never. So, or I should say, people, popularity could never. Yeah. So I like to start every class, since this class is about feelings, with how are you feeling? So feel free to tell me how you're feeling. Feel free to talk or text, type it in. Feel free to give me an emoji. Feel free to just, mash the keyboard and give me a random selection of symbols to let me know how you feel today. I just want to open up the space to that. And while I'm waiting, I'll tell you how I'm feeling. Well, for one, I just woke up from a really deep hour-long nap. I finished all my schoolwork today. I have 3 classes I'm taking, and I finished the final paper and the final assignments for the final class. Felt like a weight fall off of me. I'm really spending a lot of time lately focusing on how do I give myself compassion, like going into all the spaces where I don't feel compassion, of which there are many, So yeah, I'm learning how to heal. I'm teaching myself how to give myself compassion, and I've been doing that. And then now that I finally got to this place where I turned in all my papers, I'm just seeing all the burn marks, the scars, the tiredness, the stretching, the stretch marks that I put myself through all the time at school, which I've been in school since I was 5, and I'm a college professor. So I've been in school my whole life. So I got a lot of stretch marks there, big time. But as you can see, I feel like the compassion thing is giving me a lot of peace. So I'm working on building peace. In other words, I feel fine. Let's see what you wrote. Feeling pretty good. All right. Looking forward to this class. Oh, man, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. When I hear anyone say that they're looking forward to this class, what I really hear is you look forward to actually seeing yourself, seeing your feelings as something important. You see getting in touch with how you feel inside, getting in touch with your inner world. You believe in putting that investment into you. You believe in you. Every time I hear someone say that, I hear you believe in you. And that's just, so great also. But let's take a look. Let me grab the material. I have a workbook I put together. So actually, I have a huge workbook I put together, which is a college course now, called The Book of You. And from that workbook, I am putting together these classes. The beginner, I have a 1-month beginner class. This is a 1-month regular class, which, to be honest with you, I think I'm going to stretch into a 2-month class just to give it a little more time, give people a little more, space, for things. And then I have another 1-month advanced class as well. Okay, intensivo. Okay, let me share this link. And so if you make it all the way to the advanced, if you come to the advanced class, I will just go ahead and give you I'll give you the whole workbook. And so that way, I just really believe in guiding people through all this. We're learning tools here. We're learning self-care. We're learning how to love ourselves here. So I just think it's really important to guide people through this material and not just, here you go and good luck. I mean, it's all very explanatory. I wrote it in a very keep it real language, but like I said, I have my feelings about it, and that's why I'm doing what I do. Okay, there you go. One day, yours truly, Dr. Donnie, won't be around to guide anybody. Okay, so till then, I'm here, and so then I'm doing what I do. Okay, so let's take a look at the table of contents. Last week, we went through self-care in detail. We went in detail through a whole bunch of different ideas about what is self-care, how do we take care of ourselves, the honest thing we do. and what would be a healthier option, right? You never know. I mean, I don't encourage you to dig into the deepest things. I encourage you to take on what you can handle. That's one thing. That's one important part of self-care. Another thing is when difficult feelings arise, of which there are many, right? When they arise, can we be honest with ourselves about how we actually deal with those difficult feelings? And can we just think of what might be the healthier thing so that way when it happens, we, maybe 2 out of 10 times might have the better of us might move in the healthier direction. Okay, that's important. That's important. Okay, and that's an ongoing thing. So please go back and revisit that self-care plan every class. Revisit your self-care plan every day. Every day. Like that thing I said about building compassion. Okay, revisit your self-care plan every day. Then we had an intro into mindfulness meditation, in case you'd never meditated before. I also explained a whole bunch of things about how the mind works. The human mind thinks 80,000 thoughts a day. Okay, and most of those thoughts are negative. And most of those thoughts are repeated over and over. And so that guarantees that it is not easy to be an open-minded person. And then also considering that, what was it? Was it 2/5? 1/5 of the human mind is conscious, 20%. 1/5 of the human mind is conscious. The other 4/5 of the human mind, 80% of the human mind is not conscious. Okay, is not conscious. Okay, so if you've got 80,000 thoughts on repeat, negative thoughts on repeat in your mind, it just adds up to forget being open-minded. Forget being open to change. Forget letting it go. Forget letting it go. Yeah, that's just not how the brain works. So we have mindfulness is all about learning a totally different way of getting in touch with consciousness, acknowledging that the mind only sees thoughts, feelings, bodily sensations, and images. Those are the only 4 things the mind can see, not reality. The mind sees thoughts and feelings, bodily sensations and images, not reality. Okay, so by default, thought is not reality. Okay, and if that's true, then another word for thought would be imagination. So thinking, so there's reality and there's imagination. Thinking is imagination. Thinking and imagination, thinking and imagining are the same thing. It's the same thing. It's just one we call serious and one we call fun. But the point is, it's the same thing. So if we can use our imagination, the creative side of thinking, to help us make peace with the way the mind works, that increases our ability to raise our consciousness, be more open to life, be more open to the positive things, be more open to love and acceptance, all that good stuff. It increases our ability to improve our state of mind. Our state of mind. You may or may not be able to change what's going on in the outside world, right? The sun may still rise and fall the way it does. Your neighbor may agree with you or not agree with you, but you have total ability to get in touch with your state of mind. You can change your state of mind. And you can bring consciousness to your state of mind. So that's what meditation is all about. And that's my explanation of it there. And so we went through that as well. We practiced that. We had an exercise on how to tell yourself the truth, which I think is so important. We broke it down into 5 feelings: anger, hurt, fear, understanding, and love. Okay, we went through all those. And then we went through a whole bunch of exercises on how to heal from trauma. Exercises for getting in touch with our body, just giving ourselves a hug. There's various exercises for getting in touch with our body, stretches, things that would help you when you meditate. People like to think that you should just sit in silence and close your eyes when you meditate, but really meditation can be re-traumatizing. So it is useful to get in touch with that, with your body, whatever way works for you, to help you release what you're feeling. Okay. Whew, boy, that's a lot of stuff to give in one class. That's why I'm saying I think that going forward, I think it's going to be a 2-month thing for our regular students. It'll give us more time to process through all that. Okay, so the week 2, so we'll see how today's class goes for that matter. We have an emotions list. Oh, we're going to go over the Byron Katie Judge Your Worksheet, Judge Your Neighbor worksheet. Oh, wonderful. And then there's a self-love, acceptance, and validation exercise as well. Those are all wonderful things, wonderful things. So for one, page 11, here is a wonderful list of emotions. There's a wonderful list of emotions. Let's just take a moment and take a look at this list. Okay, this is organized by, I guess one could say negative emotions and then positive emotions. The beautiful thing is this is just a whole bunch of words that to put your feelings into words. Right? We all need to improve our English vocabulary in our English speaking post-colonial world. So many of us live in a world where we don't read literature. We just text and read short articles. So there's certain words that we use and other words we never use anymore. So it's just nice to just get in touch with our whole emotional vocabulary. And actually, most people, when you ask people, how do you feel? All they can tell you is good, fine, okay. Good, bad, fine, okay. You said you were excited. So, hey, another word for excited is alive. Courageous. Exhilarated. Spunky. Solid. Okay, and if you were in a bad mood today, I'm just honoring whatever you feel, especially in California, because I feel like in California, a lot of people feel this pressure to be positive all the time. And so keep it positive. It's sunny. It's a nice day. Keep it positive. That's a big thing out here. One of my first experiences in California, I went to visit a friend and he was at this bar. I'd always wanted to go to this bar, but I'd never been there. So I went to the bar. It was full of all this kind of, how do I have to say this? White trash attire, the way it's designed. I don't know. Anyway, I went to this bar and I walked in and the bartender asked me, hey, how's it going? And it was kind of late and, I was exhausted. I mean, I did a lot of biking that day. My body was killing me. I really wanted to just drink this big, cold beer. So I said, oh, well, really, my body's really killing me from this bike ride I took all day. And this guy looked at me like I had violated some just cardinal sin by telling him like an unpleasant story. It took me months to figure out why he had that reaction. At the time, I didn't understand. But what I learned later on is I should have walked in and said, oh, hey, I'm okay, just making the most of it, great day biking. And then he was supposed to go, yeah, right on, yeah, well, what can I get you? Okay. And that's how California works. Okay. Just good to know. Good to know. I, however, can never ascribe, I don't know, I'm from Louisiana, and where I'm from, you can literally just walk up to somebody in the grocery store. I've had people walk up to me in the grocery store and in 5 minutes began to tell me their entire life story. That's just, and I hate to say it, but that's relatively normal where I'm from. It's just a very open kind of place. You start chatting it up with somebody and then it's just going where it's going, and people got stories, what they're really going through in life. So I don't know. That's why I like New Orleans. That's why New Orleans will always be my spiritual homeland, whatever happens. It may go underwater sooner than later, but it will always be my spiritual homeland. Okay. And one thing everyone in New Orleans could even benefit from is learning more words to explain your feelings. It's just so important. Okay. Everybody wants to open up, really. Right? We all want someone to connect with. We all want a validation. We all want to know that what we feel is we're right to feel what we feel and we can work through it. We all want that. And one of the best things you can do to get there is just put your feelings into words. Okay. So be sure to check this list, revisit this list, get in touch with it regularly. Right? You know, I always ask people, how are you feeling? Well, you know what? The most important person who needs to ask you, how are you feeling, is you. The most important person. Some of us have a partner just so we can have somebody around to ask us how we're feeling. The most important person who needs to know how you feel is you. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Let's see, we need to, no worries about that. Let's take a look at this Byron Katie Judge Your Neighbor worksheet. So earlier you were listening to the sounds of Byron Katie, who was smart enough to, Byron Katie was a woman who lives in Southern California. She stumbled on this amazing idea one day that if you write down what your ego is telling you and just turn it around, you can essentially free yourself of the thought instead of trap yourself in the thought, right? And so she created this whole system. She said she had a hard time judging herself. She was always iffy about herself, but she was clear about judging other people. So she called it a Judge Your Neighbor worksheet. Okay. So the idea is, I'll just read it. Think of a recurring stressful situation, a situation that is reliably stressful, even though it may have happened only once and reoccurs only in your mind. As you answer each of the questions below, allow yourself to mentally revisit the time and place of the stressful occurrence. Use short, simple sentences. I'm sorry, my face is just it's getting a little itchy all of a sudden. Ooh. Ooh. Stuff's coming up. Okay, so the questions are, in this situation, who angers, confuses, saddens, or disappoints you, and why? Number 2, in this situation, how do you want them to change? What do you want them to do? Number 3, in this situation, what advice would you offer them? What should and shouldn'ts? 4, in order for you to be happy in this situation, what do you need them to think, say, feel, or do for you to be happy? 5, what do you think of them in this situation? Make a list. Remember, be petty and judgmental. And that I particularly appreciate. Okay, you get to keep it real. And number 6, what is it about this situation you don't ever want to experience again? And then once you get through all 6 of those, you go to each one by doing this. Investigate each of the above statements using the 4 questions. Always give yourself time to let the deeper answers meet the questions. Then turn each thought around. And then let me pause right there. The 4 questions are right here. Is it true? Can you absolutely know it's true? How do you react? What happens when you believe that thought? And who would you be without the thought? And then you turn each thought around to the self, to the other, and to the opposite. Then find at least 3 specific, genuine examples of how each turnaround is true for you in this situation. And then it says, for the turnaround to statement 6, what is it about the situation you don't ever want to experience again? Replace the words, I don't want to, with I am willing to and I look forward to. Until you can look forward to all aspects of life without fear, your work is not done. Ooh, damn, ain't that something? Okay, so let's give this a shot. We're going to treat this as a meditation. So just, like I said last week, notice your breath. Notice your breath. Watch it rise and fall. You're breathing whether you want to or not. And if you're not breathing, then you're probably not here listening to my voice anyway. Just notice your breath. Possible, slow it down just a little bit. Then notice your mind. Go into your mind. Watch it move. Big, small movements, popping, crackling. 4th of July, bombs going off, whiz, 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 firecrackers. Watch your mind. And ask yourself, is there anything that's bugging you? Any kind of stress at all? Person, place, thing, situation, whatever. Is there anything you want to work on today? And if something comes up, you should type it in so we can work on it. And if nothing comes up, or if you don't want to, you want to do your own private thing, I will come up with my own example. But I'll wait a minute or two, see if anything bubbles up for you. And the world's got all these things going on. Our own personal lives have all these things going on. All these judgments we've made about the world. Any of that stuff that rings a bell that you'd like to take a look at today. I could just give a list of injustices. Having to be online, Zoom life for a year, the price of rent in the Bay Area, global climate change. Climate change is getting the issues with climate change, financial crimes and injustice, George Floyd, and all the mass shootings, and I could just go on a whole list. I'm watching this fantastic documentary series called Exterminate the Brutes, and it's 4 parts on HBO, which I've also decided to get rid of my HBO subscription next month. But it's a 4-part series, and it's all about colonialism, and it explains, I guess, 1400s to the 1800s, and how race was a humongous feature that made the world what it is today. Big chunk of what is sort of whiteness and Americanness has been to sort of erase that history. So much of American history is about killing Native Americans and taking their land and moving them out west and taking their land and making them sign treaties and taking their land and not honoring a single one of the treaties and giving them blankets infected with smallpox and taking their land and taking their land and taking their land. And out here, even they would pay people to kill Native Americans and take their land. So pay people to kill, mercenaries. Kill, scalp Indians and take their land. I mean, I just had to. So a huge chunk of the white population, got paid to police or to murder or police the non-white population, to oversee black slaves or to kill Native Americans. That's a huge reason why this country has such a gun culture and white supremacy and violence. It's not even acknowledged at all. It's not even acknowledged at all. There was a huge, it's just hundreds of native tribes here. Whole life, all wiped out in about 100 years. It's hard to sit with that, huh? Do I want to work on that today? I'm not getting anything here, so let's see. Yeah, I'm feeling it. It's what came up. It's what the brain's focused on. Here we go. Let's learn. So what's really bugging me? What angers, confuses, saddens me? It saddens me. I'll give you that. It hella saddens me. It hella saddens me that the native people were genocide, massacred. I don't think I spelled that right, but it's hella saddens me that the native people were massacred by white people, white supremacy. How about this? It hella saddens me that the native people were massacred by white people and are forgotten today. It makes me so frustrated that white supremacy is still so powerful and deadly and powerful, deadly, and hard to confront today. Okay, I'm down with that. I'm down with that. I'm down with that. That's my sentence. There it is. Okay. Number two. In this situation, how do you want them to change? What do you want them to do? Oh, man. Okay, now you know what? I can speak from my mind and get all intellectual, but I'm going to speak from the heart. If I was speaking from the heart, like a little kid talking, because that's kind of where I went with some of this, because it was hard to watch all the death. It was hard. So my little kid self said, I want God to make this right. I want people to be much nicer to each other. Value the differences they have. Never resort to war. Yeah, that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. And I like the fact that I honored my heart. My head immediately had about 2 or 3 other things I was going to say, and then my heart just suddenly opened up, and I said those things because that's the real truth underneath it all. Okay. Number 3, in this situation, what advice would I offer them? What advice would I offer them? White people would never have been legally allowed to kill Native people for profit. White supremacy would never have been made unofficial or official law. White people, the US government should have honored all those damn treaties treaties it made with all of the tribes. Honored all those damn treaties. I mean, do we realize how hypocritical that makes us look? This whole country is built on just a huge chunk of we should not be built on a huge chunk of hypocrisy and ignorance and violence. Hypocrisy. Somehow, oh, here we go. All right. Well, this is good. This is good. This is the worksheet I've been meaning to write for a while. Oh, it's coming off my heart. I'm feeling it. In order for me to be happy in this situation, what do I need them to think, say, feel, or do? Okay, for me to be happy. And I mean, let's be real with that. For me to be happy, like as in I open the front door and I see the world I always wanted to see, and then I'm happy. The smile comes, the shoulders ease up, I'm ready to plunge in, no worries anymore. What do I need to be happy? I need to live in a world of trust and safety. I need to know that white people will always represent justice and freedom and kindness instead of separation, hate, and violence. I need God to explain to me why the world is better off with 500 years of white supremacy. And then putting my black ass here. Yes. Yes. I love it. Love it. Love it. Yes. That's exactly yes. That's when I need to be happy. Just boom. God, give me the answer. Boom. Put it there. Okay. Put it there. And then number 6. Oh, wait. Number 5. What do you think of them in this situation? Make a list. Remember, be petty and judgmental. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Our country history is sad and awful as fuck. It makes me feel disgusted. 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 When I think of all the propaganda, flags and parades and salutes, and we never even think for a moment about the names of any of those tribes, just makes me want to drink. It just makes me want to drink and drink. It makes me want to drink myself to death, which is what I hear a lot of Native people have issues with. Most Unfortunately. This also makes me feel sad as hell. Good luck. It's going to be fun turning that around, but that's how I feel right now. And so we're going to write that down. I'm remembering to be petty and judgmental. I did my best. I did my best right there, okay? Okay. And then number 6, what is it about this situation you don't ever want to experience again? Okay. What is it about this situation I don't ever want to experience again? I don't want to have to deal with how fucking sad history is. How much death there is. How horrible humans have treated each other throughout history. Oh, okay. So now just first and foremost, I wrote this out. So anchor into this experience. These words may echo how you feel. They may be slightly different. Just keep note of that in your mind. But we're gonna anchor into this feeling about history and or whatever other things I wrote. I wrote so many things. Massacres, death, so many things there. Whatever is got a grip for you, anchor into it for you, okay? And hey, I wrote Native people massacred by white people, but your issue might be I got massacred by my boss today. And if that's where you are, that's where you are. If you can see the relationship, the mind doesn't care. The mind works in concepts. So different stories, same concept. So focus on what has the grip for you here, okay? Listen to your mind, body, heart, spirit. Just listen, okay? This is an emotional exercise, not just writing things down. So for one, just take note of how you feel when you get to the end of the writing it down process. I just want to take a moment and say, I'm feeling all sorts of going on right now, okay? A lot of thoughts I got circling around that I rarely ever put down on paper. Okay, so the way this works, we're going to go up to each one of these and we're going to do the process. Okay, and of course, if you're listening along, all you have to do is close your eyes and enjoy. And actually, I need to make myself comfortable. I need my resources. Self-care is absolutely of the necessary right now. So number 1, I'm going to smoke the last of this vape real quickly. And get a stuffed animal or 2. I'm going to get 2 stuffed animals. Keep me company. Stick you right here. What face does my dog have? Oh, he's sleeping. Wake the hell up. A little too joyful. Let's see. Massacre. That's appropriate for the massacre. There we go. Okay, he's right here. He's right here. He's right here. He's going to go right next to my plant. Plant is life. Okay, there you go. Yeah, sit next to the plant and cry. That's right. Okay. Here we go. Hold on. Here we go. I often tell people a great self-care thing is to drink tea, sip some tea. I love tea. I have like 10 different kinds of teas. I was never big into tea as a young person, being from Louisiana, but as an adult, I'm all about the tea. Okay. So, and I'm moving to tea without sugar. I'm cutting all the sugar out of my diet also. But I decided to spend some time looking up where tea comes from. And then that killed all my peace about tea. I can tell you that. It's all exploitation and racism and global South colonialism. It's all that. That's where tea comes from. And there you go. It's where sugar comes from also. Exploitation. So that's something I had to sit with. I could probably grow my own peppermints though. Get my own peppermint tea going. But anyway, number 1. It hella saddens me that the native people were massacred by white people and are forgotten today. It makes me so frustrated that white supremacy is still so powerful and deadly and hard to confront today. Okay, and we're gonna go down here and ask, is that true? Is that true? Well, the answer to that's yes. Okay, number 2, can you absolutely know that it's true? I mean, I still want to say yes. I still definitely, I'm looking at this and all of it. I mean, all of it. I just want to say yes, yes. Now, I do want to say this, I'm going to let myself, these are mostly just yes or no questions. If you start fluttering around, your ego will come up with a million ways to avoid all of this. So it's useful to just land on a yes or a no, and to let yourself sink into silence until you land on the yes or no, instead of coming up with the whole story. So, is it true? Can I absolutely know it's true? Yes. How do you react? What happens when you believe that thought? How do I react? I'm hella sad and hella frustrated. Hella sad, hella frustrated. Hella sad, hella frustrated. Hella sad, hella frustrated. That's how I feel. Okay. Who would I be without the thought? Without this thought. Well, I don't know. That's the honest answer to that question, is I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And I think that's an appropriate answer. I'm going to go with that. I don't know. Okay, so turn the thought around to the self. So make the thought about you. It hella saddens me. There's a few ways to do this. You can just make it about you. You could also make it about your thinking, your ego. Those things all kind of mean the same thing, okay? So it hella saddens me that the native people, it hella saddens me that I was massacred by me and are forgotten today. It makes me so frustrated that I am still so powerful and deadly and hard to confront today. Oh, we're gonna sit with that for a bit. We're gonna sit with that for a bit. Oh. Okay. Hella saddens me that I was massacred by me and I'm forgotten today. It makes me so frustrated that I'm still so powerful and deadly and hard to confront today. Is that true? I can think of a few ways that's very true for me in my life. For one, when I was, about 6 years old, I'll never forget. Well, I grew up in a really homophobic environment. So, I mean, it was made very clear to me that if I had said I like dudes, or if I had said I identify as part female, and I just don't identify as a, butch guy, it would have been completely unacceptable. And so for that reason, I felt like I had to I shoved part of myself into a closet. That's what the closet is, right? Well, you could call the closet a massacre. You could call the closet a massacre. I would, that works for me. It's still stifling the life out of something till it till it has no chance to live. It's still killing it. So the part of me that had to that felt I had to do that to me as a little kid to survive was very terrified. It's very terrified. I grew up in a super teeny tiny town, Just didn't know. Just didn't know. So scared. Yeah, who knows what effect that had on me my whole life. But yeah, I could see how it keeps me from being totally free, how I keep me from being totally free by having these fears around, my safety, my fears around what may happen to me in the world as a queer Black person. I certainly definitely feel like one part of that's totally legitimate. And then one part of it is me living on like a lot of worry, anxiety, paranoia. And unfortunately, the legitimate part makes it very hard to work through the paranoia part. Yeah. And then God forbid someone invalidates your feelings by saying you're just paranoid, because then that does not work out well. Because it's half true. And that's the unfortunate part of it. Is half truths don't work out very well. You have to acknowledge people's whole truth, I suppose. Oh, I appreciate that one. Okay, let's try another one here. Okay, let's try to the other, B, to the other. To the other. Let's see, now how I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. It hella saddens white people that the native people, wait. And hold on. Let's try this. It hella saddens me that white people were massacred by native people and are forgotten today. It makes me so frustrated that, and I'm having a hard time with switching people around on that. Well, there's no people in that second sentence. I'm gonna just see. The idea, though, is to make it to the other, right? Whatever direction you were going at, flip it around. Let's just try that first one again. It hella saddens me that white people were massacred by native people and are forgotten today. I suppose they probably did, kill their own share of people in defense of their own territories and all. Does it hella sadden me? Well, it does add into the overall picture of this whole human beings treating each other like crap stuff. So yeah, I got sadness for it for sure. Hella sadness, I don't know. There's a whole lot more death to go through. So I don't know about hella sadness, but certainly sadness. It certainly isn't moving in the direction I want to move it in. I want the world to move in, that's for sure. Okay, well, anyway, so that's how that's true. And then let's try see the opposite. So just make opposites of all this stuff. So the opposite of hella saddened would be pleases me. It hella pleases me that the native people were massacred by white people and are forgotten today. It makes me so happy that white supremacy is still so powerful and deadly and hard to confront today. Okay, so now you might find yourself having a hell no moment to this, and that is wonderful. That is, anytime you find yourself having one of those, it just rubs you right there. You want to take some breaths. It's a meditation exercise. Breathe into it, and really search for one way in which it's true. It's an open-mindedness exercise. Not we're just looking at the thoughts we hold on to, right? You're not signing a piece of paper, issuing an order. You're not making it happen. We're just examining thought. Okay, so find an opposite here. It hella pleases me that native people were massacred by white people and are forgotten today. One way it pleases me. Now, that's a toughie. Well, one way it pleases me is I get to watch really super critical documentaries, really sad, super critical documentaries that are really well done on HBO. Okay, that's one way. I'm reaching there, but there you go. What's way it hella pleases me? We're just gonna have to really sit with that. Well, one way is I got to uncover the real history. Suddenly, as an adult, I get to learn real American history. And that was exciting. Yeah. The People's History of the United States. That was a really exciting read. And there's another person now, Roxanne Dunbar Ortiz, wrote an Indigenous People's History of the United States. And I own that book, and it was mentioned in the documentary. I was actually rather excited about that. And I haven't read the book yet. Been sitting in my car for forever. But I was excited that I owned the book. I was on the right path there. And now that I saw this documentary, I can go look up all the other things this filmmaker has done, because it was such a wonderful documentary. So yeah, so that's something. That was something I was excited about. And for a chunk of time, I researched the Native American culture in Louisiana. And I, at one point was told I was part of a particular tribe. And then I did a genetic testing that told me I wasn't. And then I met a bunch of Black people who told me they also got testing that they didn't agree with. And then now it's a total gray area. But for many years, I researched the Eshok tribe and around the Caddo, central Louisiana area. We met a guy who looked just like me, who lived on a reservation. Also, I discovered that Native people can be very anti-Black, very anti-Black. So there you go. Not all, but some, yeah, some, and very much so. There you go. And so the real story, is complex. It's complex, and that's interesting also. That's interesting also. I went to the Two-Spirit powwow thing out here in the Bay Area. Totally got a whole bunch of just people all hella nervous to talk to a Black person. It was just sad as hell. So disappointed. Had to make peace with that. Went sat in the car and had to make peace with that. But I got some great jewelry though. So there you go. Okay, so one reason I can say I'm pleased that white supremacy is so powerful and deadly and hard to confront today is we're still talking about it. Where it's something that we are acknowledging. We are acknowledging in the present moment. And it was a central force that organized this country. And it's not just gonna go like poof. It's it's gonna be around for a long time and gonna probably fight to the death. I guess. I mean, it killed off a whole bunch of people already. So I guess why not, right? So I don't know. There were people who regularly called Donald Trump's presidency the white man's last hurrah. And there was someone else who said that, what was it? Oh, it's not going to. Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, well, my point was, it's a huge force. It's not going away. It's not going away. So an honest take on how to honestly address the issues of white supremacy is needed. We never had a Truth and Reconciliation Commission here, I guess. Telling the real history is so needed. Until the real history gets told, they passed a bill limiting people's ability to vote in several places recently. So it's needed. It's needed for us to fight back, or otherwise it's just going to get worse. So. Okay, still working through it. Okay, number 2. I want God to make this right. Oh, before I go forward, you see how this process works. Now, this is a deep one, but you see how this process works. You ask these questions, is it true, all that stuff, and then you turn it around to find any way you can be open-minded about it. Turning it all around to be about me, it hella saddens me that I massacred me. That brought up so much stuff, holy crap. And I can go look at. Okay, so that's the gift of this worksheet. Okay, so let's look at number 2. I want God to make this right. I want people to be much nicer to each other, to value the differences they have. I'll To never resort to war and death if we don't agree. Is that true? Yeah. Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah. Can you absolutely know that it's true? Oh, I mean, yeah. God, make it right. Be nice. No war and death, please. Yes. Ding. Yes. How do you react when you believe that thought? How am I reacting right now? Scared. I went infantile. I went infantile, yeah. I'm sort of begging. I'm begging God. Scared. That would be the honest truth of that. Who would you be without the thought? Who would I be without this thought? You know, as I was saying it, somewhere in the back of my mind, I heard, grow the fuck up. Grow the fuck up. So I guess I'd be more grown up. Let's go with that. I'd probably be more grown up, I guess. I'd probably be more grown up. No guess. No guess. No ifs and buts. No maybes. I'd be more grown up. It would be I'd be more mature if I didn't think this. It hurts. Okay, turn it around to the self. I want me to make this right. I want me to make this right. I want me to be much nicer to me. To value the differences I have. To never resort to war and death if I don't agree. Okay, well, like I said, the stuffing myself in the closet. You could call that war and death. You know, it was basically, this is who you are. Oh, I can't accept this. Everyone else is telling me this is wrong. I have to like, oh, nope. It's a phase, it'll go away. It's a phase, it'll go away. I want me to make this right. I want me to be nicer to me. Well, it definitely wasn't kind to tell myself it was a phase. That definitely wasn't kind. That was totally a stall tactic. You know, it's funny. I actually don't talk about this very much. So it's funny. I definitely just went into denial as a stall tactic. Said it was a phase. On a day-to-day level, I just kind of remember just it's kind of avoiding me, feeling kind of cold, just avoiding me. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You really needed me to be there to nurture you then, and I was so scared. Please forgive me. You are so important to me now, so precious to me. I've done so much to honor your spirit. I care about you so much. I love you. I was scared as fuck back then. Right on. I want me to make this right. I want me to be much nicer to me. To value the differences I have. Now let's see there. To value the differences I have. You know, you're absolutely right. I wanted to be a certain way. The world I lived in didn't accept it. I made a decision that to work the two out, I had to cram you into a closet and then keep it looking good on the surface. And I could have just acknowledged that maybe I can just be different than what my society wanted me to be. I don't have to go along with shit. I mean, I never did. I was pretty independent in every other way. That was kind of like, wow, I'm independent in all these other ways. And wow, I'm gay too. Oh man, another one. That was kind of the thing. Like, this is just too much. That was the thing. I remember that. Like, oh God, another one. Yeah, another one. another one, and another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. Absolutely. Absolutely. Go your own way. How far your own way can you go? It's a whole forest. People like to think it looks like a neat, organized little city, and life's a whole forest. It's a whole forest. So if everybody took off right and you went left, that's fine. How far left can you go? You can go your own way. That's a great song. Amen. I feel it. I feel it. It's hard going your own way. I feel it. Oh, yeah. It's really hard going your own way. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I feel it. I know. Beautiful, lots of beautiful moments. Lots of hard moments too. And that's all any life will ever be. Lots of beautiful moments, lots of hard moments too. That part of me would never, I fully understand that you would never have wanted to be in a closet. You were sacrificed. You were warred in death. I warred in death you to the closet. And I'm so sorry. I will spend my life in forgiveness, working to heal, working so we can heal together. Oh, man. Okay, B, to the other. I want God to make this right. God wants me to make this right. God wants me to make this right. Well, I'm worried about it, so I guess that would have to be it. It's my job then. God wants me to make this right with the native people and the white people thing. And how the hell am I gonna do that? well, I'm getting educated, and I definitely am figuring out a way to play that documentary in a class. I'm putting together a class on dealing with poverty, and I can definitely we can definitely talk about how white supremacy is tied into poverty in America, and how everybody's poor today, and it could be a way to bring people together. We could talk about the real history and bring people together. I mean, the real history is the real history. I mean, it's over now. I mean, that happened. I mean, it's hundreds of years ago now. So, or 100 so years ago, and whatever solution is going to have to involve all of us coming together. You know, white, black, everybody. If that solution doesn't involve, somehow it's gonna have to involve the white supremacists coming together too with all of us. Like, I don't exactly know what it is, but in the end, if we don't all come together as one country, I don't see how we're gonna survive. I don't see how we're gonna make it through climate change. So I don't know, but love has to be the answer there if we all got to come together. So I don't know. I want people to be much nicer to each other. People want me to be much nicer to them. Well, see, there you go. Love would have to be the answer. People want me to be much nicer to them. Hey, you know, this lady at the post office, I went to the post office yesterday, and this lady was so rude to me. I mean, it was just so, I mean, she took one look and saw a black man and just basically had a inner reaction. I was so kind to her, so kind to her. I also decided to buy my mother a Mother's Day card. My mother, who I haven't spoken to in 3 years. So I was really going through a whole thing emotionally with that, and Anyway, I just decided being kind is the way to go going forward in life. It's not judgmental. I don't care how judgmental you are to me. It's, can I be kind to you? That really is the question. Can I show myself compassion if I can't be kind? How much compassion can I give me? That is the eternal question of my life going forward. Is how much compassion can I give myself? That's it. Not can I judge, not what you should do. How much compassion can I give myself? Yeah. It's not even how much compassion can I give you. I'm just really taking it home. How much compassion can I give myself? When I'm completely filled up with compassion, I can't help but let it flow over into compassion for other people. Hey, that's how I feel about this class too. If you're interested, feel free to leave a donation and feel free to just receive. Fill yourself up with compassion. And then one day, if you feel like leaving $1, $5, $1,000,000, leave whatever you feel like leaving. One day you feel like opening up and really sharing your feelings. Come and really share your feelings. That's actually sharing the feelings is worth more than $1,000,000 to me. I call that priceless. That's how I feel about that. But the most important thing is to let yourself receive compassion. Receive compassion. Indeed. That's the best way I can make this right. Okay. Let's try the opposite. I want God to make this wrong. I want God to make this wrong. I want God to make this wrong. Well, he did. There you go. All that massacring, he made it wrong. Boom. Maybe that's God's job to make it wrong. I don't know how that makes sense, but I guess that makes sense. I don't know. I want God to make this wrong. Well, he did. I don't want people to be nicer to each other. I want people to be much meaner to each other. I gotta sit with that one. To not value the differences they have, to only value their similarities. Well, people do. People often do only hang out in similarities. To always resort to war and death when we don't agree. If we don't agree. I want God to make this wrong. Well, he's doing a pretty good job of that, because that describes what the world actually looks like. Actually, people to be meaner to each other, to value only the similarities, and to always resort to war and death if we don't agree. That would describe the documentary I watched. That would just be an accurate reflection of reality. Ouch. Okay, that's hard to sit with. I guess that's why I complain about it so much, because that really is how people are. Yeah, I mean, I don't fit into that at all, right? I mean, well, yeah, I mean, I was the odd one out my whole life. I was the odd one out my whole life. Is that true? No, that's not totally true, but it's true in many ways. Hey, notice these stories, right? Notice how these stories come up, and you can question all these stories. Oh man, that's just hard to feel. That is how people are, though. I want God to make this wrong. I want God to make this wrong. What if deliberately God made a cake and the cake came out slightly underbaked? You know, he like deliberately made a soggy cake. It's God's ideal plan is a soggy cake. It just ain't. He had a bigger goal. You know, he had to watch TV and make this cake at the same time, and he underbaked the cake. Right? We're little dots, we're little crumbs on the cake. It isn't working out the way we wanted it to. It's not going to work out the way we wanted it to. We're half cooked. Oh, ain't that something? Okay, so let's see. Let's keep going. White people should never have been legally allowed to kill Native people for profit. White supremacy should never have been made unofficial or official law. The US government should have honored all those damn treaties it made with all those tribes. We should not be built on a huge chunk of hypocrisy and ignorance and violence. Is that true? Now I gotta say, so when this is all about me making peace with me and the sexuality stuff, I can see, okay, yeah, right, okay, it's time for compassion, yeah. But when we jump back to when we jump back to all the Native stuff, I am just, oh, yes, all that's true. It's just awful. Yes, all that's true. Can you absolutely know that it's true? Well, that's what happened. And it would make an America that would be a much kinder, open America, I like to believe. I'm going to say yes. Yes. I'm still going to say yes. Yes. How do you react? What happens when you believe that thought? Well, how do I react? I feel like I am sort of declaiming what human rights are. And I'm judging the real history of the country. I'm like, I'm this higher than thou figure. I'm the preacher, proclaiming the lawyer, the judge, proclaiming how the land should work, you know? But I'm like, literally, I have an image of myself like standing on a, official platform, the adjudication official platform, the gavel, and I'm pointing, and with my wig, I have my white curly wig, and I'm pointing and declaring this while literally there's like a battlefield in front of me of a massacre, of settlers and Native people just, going at it and guns and everything. And I just feel like I'm just talking at the wind. I mean, all this stuff is great, but it's just me talking at the wind. There's the real history, and then there's all that fluffy stuff we want to believe in. That sounds like marshmallow fluff. Want to believe in. I could just open a can and spread it on something. Want to believe in. It's just not. It's just not real. It's just not real. That's the point. It's imagination, right? In my imagination, I see we can just play fight. We can play fight cowboys and Indians, with little toys, and then put them all down, and then make peace and go back and have lunch and drink juice. And that's not real history. It's just not real history. Who would I be without the thought? How do I react? I was in denial. There you go. Big time denial. Who would you be without the thought? I'd be embracing. I'd be really taking this on to a whole new, deeper level. I couldn't pull myself out of history, somehow pull myself out of history. I have to tie myself to this and really do my part to make sense of it on a deeper emotional level. That's what I feel in this moment. Okay, so let's turn the thought around to the self. I should never have been legally allowed to kill me for profit. Well, like I said, when we bring it back to me, I get where all this is about. Okay, I could definitely see how, because I felt this pressure to be in the closet. I definitely have this sensitivity for like the underdog, because I felt I had to be an underdog in order to be okay in my situation, to survive my situation. Made me sensitive for the less fortunate. I definitely feel that. Like I suppose I'd also feel that as a black person, but I definitely feel that way as a queer person for sure. For sure. But, as a black person, I have to say I grew up in a pretty middle class, I mean, a pretty steady middle class environment. So I didn't. I mean, until I got off into the real world, it wasn't until I started really experiencing or educating myself about racism. So I was kind of cushioned on that level. I mean, I knew there was a neighborhood near my house that was the white part of town, and we didn't go near the white part of town. I mean, I was aware of racism, but it wasn't didn't feature all that prominently in my life until I became an adult. But boy, homophobia. I mean, that showed up at 5. That showed up at 5. So yeah, I can see why this is connected to that. I can see that. I should never have been legally allowed to kill me for profit. I should never have been made unofficial. My thinking should never have been made unofficial or official law. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, if I had been more open-minded about ways in which I could have asked for help, reached out for help. I wasn't a reach out for help person. I was very I never got a lot of support from my family for being unique or different. So I just stayed in my room and did my own thing a whole lot. Yeah. I always wish I had thought of, we I didn't live in a world of computers until I was in maybe early high school, into middle school. So if we had computers back then, I probably could have looked up a lot more resources to get myself the help I needed. And that would have made me more open-minded to different kinds of things. Wasn't around then. The US, I should have honored all those damn treaties I made with me. I should. Oh, wow. Wow. It's like honestly, my brain is the white man, and my heart is the Native Americans. And my heart got massacred by my head because I had to do mentally what I needed to do to like survive. Hmm. I fought a war. I started a war. I just never apologized to myself for starting a war. I did the best I could. I just didn't know any better back then. I never even thought I needed to sit down and give myself a conversation like this. My history. I need to revisit my history. Mm. I need to honor all those damn treaties I made. The treaty I made to keep myself happy. The treaty I made to enjoy life. The treaty I made to have fun. To see life as a curious, open. Who was I as a kid? Just present, curious, open, upbeat. Hmm. Treaty I made with me. I should not be built on a huge chunk of hypocrisy and ignorance and violence toward myself. I should not be built on a huge chunk of hypocrisy and ignorance and violence. I will 100% agree with you there. Yeah. I wonder, I'm going to keep doing this compassion thing. I really am. So I wonder, what is a person that practices 100% compassion? What does that even look like? Don't we all want to know? Don't we all want to know? Shit, I will let you know. Have compassion for the part of me that needs to know that question. Yeah. Oh. Okay, and I guess we can try this other. Let's try to the other. Native people should never have been legally allowed to kill white people for profit. Native people should never have been legally allowed to kill white people for profit. Well, they weren't. So there you go. Well, let's just try some opposites here. White people should have been legally allowed to kill Native people for profit. Well, because they were. Well, because they were. I mean, I can argue that I don't think it was right. Well, let's just go with that. It was wrong. It was right. Let's turn it around. It was right. It was right that white people were legally allowed to kill Native people for profit. How is that true? How is that true? Well, because there was a whole policy of white supremacy, and they wanted to get rid of the Native people so that way they could take all the land and use it get it involved in the capitalism, and then you can build homes on it as well, and then trade the homes for a profit, and there's a whole system by which white home ownership took over all of America, and then there was suburbanization, which further completed that process, and there's a whole housing market connected to that. And that housing market is inherently racist. It has kicked out people of color, Black, Latino, Native people, treated them in completely different ways than they have treated white homeowners. And so there's a policy from colonial expansion all the way to home ownership today that is just inherently racist. It's just inherently racist. And that is the truth of it. That is the truth. That is the truth of it. There's books written, and that's just how it is. That's just the reality of it. Or I should say, it is true. It is true. White people should have been legally allowed to kill Native people for profit, because that's what they did. Turning everything into profit. Profit, profit, looking for profit, looking for profit. White supremacy should have been made unofficial or official law. Yes, because how else would you make it more effective? The best way to make a law really effective is to make it officially effective and unofficially effective. If all the unwritten rules totally going along with it, it guarantees it's going to be just a total whitewash. A whitewash. There you go. It's just going to be absolutely the law of the land. There's no way to bend, break it, no way to change it. It's get on board or you're just automatically out the game. So that sounds like something, some heavy policing to me. Okay, law. The US government should not have honored all those damn treaties it made with all the tribes. Yeah, because if the government had honored all the treaties, white supremacy would never have made it in this country. I mean, it would have been equal footing with all the tribes. All the settlers would have had to integrate into Native culture. The arrogance of Europeans, they had no interest in doing that. Or a few did. Actually, that's not true. A few did, but many did not, and had no interest in it because it did not involve profit. It didn't involve making a profit. So there was no way those people were going to honor those treaties. And so that they knew good and well when they said they were making those treaties, they had no intentions of honoring them. So it's almost like the way white supremacy works is, yeah, we're hypocrites, but it's okay that we're hypocrites because we're doing it for the larger purpose of promoting the white race. Or the US, it's okay for the US government to be hypocrites because we are ultimately doing it for the betterment of the US government. So it's okay for us to lie, cheat, and steal. Hypocrisy, ignorance, and violence, lie, cheat, and steal, because we're doing it for our own betterment in the long term. Now, I could see if I was purely thinking about profit, I could see how that could be true. If I was thinking about spirit in any way, shape, or form, it would be absolutely bankrupt. Absolutely bankrupt. But I could see in terms of pure owning stuff, how that could be true. Okay, so white supremacy is probably very connected to having stuff. Having stuff. It's a stuff itself, right? Some kind of stuff. Got to have something, something to hold on to. Whew, not easy to bring up to the surface. Next, here's the next one. I need to live in a world of trust and safety. I need to know that white people will always represent justice and freedom and kindness instead of separation and hate and violence. I need God to explain to me why the world is better off with 500 years of white supremacy and then putting my Black ass here. That's true. God needs to explain to me why I'm here. No. And you know why? Because earlier when we said, I want God to make this right, we said, I want God to make this wrong. And then I said, God is like a guy watching TV and half baking a cake. And I don't know how to put this, but somehow that feels really right to me. Maybe the picture's a little off, but like, I don't know, something about the combination of both perfection and just absolute just falling apart. God is both of those things. God is both of those things. God is one, the other, and both combined. I like that. There's something about that that really resonates with me. So I don't need God to explain to me why it's all better off, why I'm here. I don't need God to explain that to me. No. Tell you for one, if I ever make cake, I don't ever cook cake. I'm not big on baking sweets and sugar and all that stuff. But if I ever do make a cake, I will absolutely not half bake it. Okay, so let's see. Is it true I need to live in a world of trust and safety? I mean, part of me wants to say yes to that. I need to know that white people will always represent justice and freedom and kindness. Well, come on. No, that's just ridiculous. No, that's ridiculous. Okay, can you absolutely know that it's true? I need to live in a world of trust and safety. Oh, can I absolutely know that it's true? Yeah. How do I react when I believe that thought? I'm scared. Or I'm just acknowledging that I'm scared. Who would you be without the thought? I mean, I feel like I'd be free. If I didn't have to care about that, I'd be free. Yeah. And without the thought that white people have to represent justice and freedom and kindness, yeah, it'd be a lot more freeing. Okay, let's see. To the self, I need to live in a world of trust and safety. My thinking needs to live in a world of trust and safety with me. Okay. Yeah, I can see how I violated my own trust and safety by being in the closet. So, okay. Yeah. I want you to know, person inside, I want you to know you live in trust and safety now. You live in a world of trust and safety now. Wherever we go together, I will do my part to ensure you have trust. You can trust me and you are safe. Guaranteed. Never thought to say this to myself. Feels good. Feels good. I need to know that I will always represent justice and freedom and kindness instead of separation and hate and violence. Yeah, that's what you need to know. Hey, listen, little one inside. I am here to represent justice. I'm doing some justice right now, freedom and kindness instead of separation and hate and violence. I'm never going to do that to you ever again. Ever again. I need me to explain to me why the world is better off with 500 years of me and then putting me here, putting my black ass here. I need me to explain to me why I'm better off with 500 years of me and then putting me here. That's complicated. I don't know. I need my thinking to explain to, I need me to explain to my thinking why I'm better off with 500 years of me and then putting me here, like karma, and putting me here. 500 years of me and then putting me here. "500 years of me and then putting me here." I need me to explain to me why I'm better off. Well, I mean, I'm better off probably being here now than being here in the 1800s. If I had been around the 1800s, I might have been, a slave or jumped off the ship or died of some disease or I mean, maybe I think it's much better that I'm here now. The version of Dr. Donnie in the 1800s would never have been a college professor. I can tell you that. So I definitely am better off being here now because all those Black people, those people before me, those slaves went through what they went through. I am here today. I'm here scratching and surviving today. So, and I need me to explain it to me, not sit around waiting for God to give me the answers. God gave me life. The rest is up to me. He put the ingredients in the oven. Whether the cake gets built or not, I gotta do my part to heat up my little crumb. That's my part. That's my part. Okay, I can't know if the whole cake gets built or not. I don't know what happens to the cake. Can I do my part? Oh, man. Can I be compassionate and kind to myself? And I give myself compassion. Okay, to the other, let's see. Let's just go with some opposites here. I need to live in a world of untrust and unsafety. Well, that's the world we live in. I need to know that white people will never represent justice and freedom and kindness. Instead, separation and hate and violence. Well, white people are going to represent whatever they represent. And I can't typecast white people. I don't want white people to typecast me. So it's always every human being's a complicated picture. Every human being's a complicated picture. So there you go. And I need God to never explain to me. I need God to explain to me why the world is worse off with 500 years of white supremacy and then putting my black ass here. Well, I mean, that'd be nice. Although I can basically I know the answer to that one, which is which is the whole model of globalization has meant more and more minorities are moving to these colonized, predominantly white countries. And as a result, the policies have changed, as well as a more globalized world has meant white supremacy has been devalued in those slightly devalued in those countries. And that's led to all kinds of political conflicts. And those political conflicts seem set to continue strongly into the future. Yeah, that's why. And so my Black ass is here to bring some peace and love and understanding to all of this. And that would be one reason why my Black ass is here, said the sociologist and counselor. There you go, who's teaching a social emotional learning class. So there you go. There you go. God just explained it to me. Boom. Hey, I'm here right now. There you go. Oh, my purpose complete. No need to ask ever again. Okay. And then the last one, the last two. Our country's history is sad and awful as fuck. It makes me feel disgusted. When I think about all the propaganda and flags and parades and salutes, and we never even think for a moment about the names of any of those tribes, it just makes me want to drink myself to death, which is what I hear a lot of Native people have issues with, most unfortunately. This also makes me feel sad as hell. Is any of that true? Is any of that true? You know, I can't help but say it's all spinning into a story. It's all something, it's all some information. It's all a history. But is it true? Is it true? I mean, so many countries have a history that involve, the plague, the bubonic plague, or all kinds of torture items when people fought each other. War and violence and slavery have been around since civilization began. I mean, before white Western civilization got on board with this in the 1600s, it was the Arabs, right? So they enslaved the African population. So it's a whole phenomena. It's a whole worldwide phenomena. History, human nature wide phenomena. So I mean, to call it sad and fuck, I can't just call it our country. Not just our country. Like all of human history said and awful as fuck. Just in that sense, I can say, no, it's not true. It's not just our country. It's all of human history. I can say that. And it makes me want to drink myself to death. No, it doesn't make me want to drink myself to death. It does make me want to have a drink for sure. Not to death. The issue of Native people and alcoholism definitely makes me feel very sad. Very sad. Can I absolutely know that that's true? Oh, I'm going to say yes. Yes, it makes me feel very sad. Makes me feel very sad. Yeah. How do I react when I believe that thought? Sad. I'm sad and disgusted. I'm sad and disgusted. I'm sad and disgusted. Makes me want to drink. Kind of want 2 drinks now. Yep. Yeah. 2.5. Maybe a chaser. That's how it makes me feel. Probably have it tomorrow also. Maybe a week after that. Okay, now I'm drinking myself to death. There you go. I honored how I felt. Who would I be without this thought? Oof. I don't know. It's hard to make peace with all of this, but I guess I'd be making peace with it. I'd be making inroads to making peace. Okay, we'll turn it to the self. My history is sad and awful as fuck. It makes me feel disgusted. Yeah, well, it definitely is sad and awful. Spending 7 years of your life repressing who you are. That was pretty sad and awful. And when I finally did come out of the closet, I got no support from my family. So it was pretty sad and awful. And it definitely made me feel like, well, like what's so wrong with me? And I couldn't just be accepted for who I was, that's for sure. I mean, I eventually stopped going down blame road, and decided to pick a different way. But yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. It was sad and awful. Now let's see. When I think of all the propaganda, when I think of all the propaganda, and I never even think for a moment about the names of any of those me's I lost. It makes me want to drink myself to death. Yeah, because that would be like kind of, another kind of suicide. Yeah, not honoring the dead bodies in the closet. Seeing the closet as like a burial, like a like I thought I got out of the closet, but what if not? What if there's a grief process, for grieving being in the closet. Yeah, yeah. That's all that part of me knew. Could just acknowledge that that's what that part of me is going through. Yeah. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. It's what I hear a lot of me has issues with, most unfortunately. Is what a lot of me has issues with, most unfortunately. Also makes me feel sad as hell, yeah. Wow, that's amazing. Oh. Okay, let's try some other turnarounds here. Our country's history is happy. And what's the opposite of awful? Simple, happy and simple. It makes me feel supported. When I think of all the propaganda and we never think about the names of those tribes, it never makes me want to, it makes me want to drink myself to life. It just makes me want to drink myself to life. Which is what a lot of Native people have issues with, luckily. This also makes me excited. Whew. Oh boy. Hey, I'll tell you one thing. One thing they said is when all the tribes got pushed out west, and they were sticks and bones at that point, and many hadn't made it. They said they had a call. They just felt this spirit that told them they had to do this special dance. And so, like for about like a decade, these people got together and did this dance, this death dance, and it was conjuring all these spirits up, and they would just dance and dance and dance so they passed out. And I can't help but feel like many of them knew this was the end, and so the dance was supposed to bring back the old spirits and bring stop the white man from moving further west. And they did this dance, and I thought it was interesting that in its own way you could say they chose to die with life. They chose to die dancing. It really touched me. They chose to die dancing. They chose to die. That was what they had left to fight with. So I will say that when our country's history also has, the rare, wonderful person in it who chose to stand up and fight back, who chose to join the Communist Party, who chose to, start unions, organize a union, who chose to research Native culture, who chose to run the publishing press that print the book about Native culture, who, our country has some amazing figure. Our country has Martin Luther King, our country has some amazing people in it as well, who didn't do these things, or just as much a part of our country's history. Our country has a Martin Luther King. It makes you realize how important that guy was. Like, that message of love, how radically powerful that was, because in light of this history, there's no love in it. There's no love in it. So, yeah. Makes you realize how important Jesus and Martin Luther King and these kinds of people were. Love your enemy, turn the other cheek. Whew. I mean, that may be the only power that is, stronger than a nuclear bomb. Love. Maybe that's the reason why God put me here 500 years of white supremacy, so I could learn to give that kind of love. I don't know. We'll get there. We'll see. Can I give it to me? Can I give it to me? This whole thing has been telling me that I need to give myself that kind of unconditional love. That's for sure. I can definitely feel that through and through. Yeah. Bigger than a nuclear bomb. Total unconditional love. Okay, and it makes me want to protest. When I think about our country's history, it makes me want to protest. And so I'm contributing to the good part of what I think our country's history is about. And I made an effort to research my native culture, my native ancestry, or the native people in my area. I made a point to research those things because I care. It was an opportunity for me to show I care. Even if native people are racist themselves, hey, I did it for me. I did it to show I care. I did it to honor what I felt was right. And if given the opportunity to do the right thing on this issue, I will continue to do so. Absolutely. Okay. And the last one was, I don't want to have to deal with how fucking sad history is. How much death there is, how horrible humans have treated each other throughout history. So for statement 6, we replace the words I don't want to with I am willing to. I am willing to deal with how fucking sad history is. How much death there is, how horrible humans have treated each other. Yes, I am willing to. And I'll say why, because so much of history is about this. So it comes up over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And so it's interesting how much death I watched and didn't have a reaction about versus how much death I watched and do have a reaction about. That's not really about the death. It's about me. It's about me and the baggage, the feelings I'm holding on to. Absolutely. The stuff I take personally. It's about my junk, my stuff, my baggage. I know that sounds a little insensitive, but that's what it is. That's what it is. Okay, so I am willing to. And I look forward to dealing with how fucking sad history is. how much death there is, how horrible humans have treated each other throughout history. I look forward to that. And why? Why? Because you know what? It's about teaching yourself compassion. It's about teaching yourself compassion. People who treated other people like that, those are people who could not treat themselves with a whole lot of compassion. There's no way you can murder other people and be and be compassionate to yourself. That would be some real schizophrenia going on there. And you know, there's some people who are real schizophrenic for sure. And it's not compassionate. Okay, it's not a compassionate way to live. So compassion, love, compassion. If this whole experience of learning about history is to teach me compassion, well then job motherfucking well done. Well done. I get it. I get it, God. Oh. Mm. Oh. Okay. Oh. Okay, so as you see, this can go places. And I wrote this worksheet on what was bothering me, and this is what was bothering me today. But I have to tell you, generally, when I do these worksheets, I keep it pretty simple. Keep it to a few sentences here and there, because, you know, it just gets complicated, right? So I try not to write all kinds of things, but this is what came out today. And of course, I've done about 100,000 of these, if not a million at this point. But, you know, so if you do this on your own time, I just want to give you some tips there. You can see this can bring a lot out of you. And the beautiful thing about it is you can write it out in your own language. No one else has to read it. It's the mind stopped on paper. And then you can really just all you got to do is turn stuff around and see what comes up for you as true. It's using your own words to enlighten you into a deeper state of mind. Okay. Isn't that genius? Absolute genius. Okay. So there's another exercise here on the self-love exercise, which I would encourage you to take a look at on your own. And we will do it later in the series, so we can just do it later in the series, but it's there. When I expand this class into a 2-month class, then we can just do that another week. This was deep. This was deep. Like I'm feeling all kinds of boom, boom, boom in my brain here. So I just want to just say practice. You know, no feeling is a one and done. No issue in your life is a one and done. So please take time to try this worksheet. Try it a few times. Try it over a few different situations and just see what it can do for you in your life. Okay, it's one more skill set tool in your toolkit dealing with your social emotional life. Okay, turning thoughts around. Okay. So thank you so much for being a part of class today. Feel free to share, tell others. Feel free to leave a donation. Feel free to give of your heart, your thankfulness. Thank you for your time, your attention, your open-mindedness, your willingness to try something new, your presence. Thank you for this healing. Thank you for the time to listen to me, open up about my feelings and my problem. Very much appreciated. Okay, and with that, I'm going to wish you a nice, wish you a nice week and a nice weekend, and enjoy the wonderful weather and enjoy our history. enjoy compassion. Enjoy compassion. Okay. Bye. Take care. Enjoy compassion. Enjoy compassion.